Okay. Okay, we're having a little, there we go. For some reason, little audio, but we're back. Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions. Let's go for God today, shall we? Oh my God.
Namaste y bienvenidos, amados poderosos compañeros.
Maria, you are so devoted. It's beautiful. Thank you. She's very self-honest, you know, and it's really the only way to get to heaven. We're going to talk about getting to heaven quickly. Doesn't that sound great?
Yes. Ella es muy honesta y se requiere esta honestidad. Y ahorita mismo vamos a hablar de la honestidad.
Okay, so everybody here knows I am an absolute, total fan of A Course in Miracles.
Ustedes saben que yo soy absolutamente y totalmente fan del curso de milagros.
Because it will bring you home.
Porque eso nos va a llevar a casa. Eso me llevó a mí a casa.
You know, and if you saw, I did a little post on that trip to Bali, because the memories are coming, right, from 6 years ago going to Bali, that trip that Jesus sent me on to Bali.
Y recuerdo el viaje que Jesús me envió a Bali y tengo unas imágenes, unas fotos de ese viaje.
And what I realized is you cannot know the power and what it means to do everything Jesus asked and the power that has until you actually do it.
No te puedes dar cuenta del valor que tiene hacer lo que Jesús te diga que hagas hasta que lo haces.
The infinite, unchanging power that you have, the joy, the sheer, unrelenting joy that's offered by God.
El gozo que es ofrecido, que es dado por Dios.
And what's so precious about A Course in Miracles, it's like it gives you the target. We're going to start with the end in mind.
Y lo hermoso del curso de milagros es que te da el objetivo, que es limpiar la mente.
Stephen Covey, you know, begin with the end in mind.
¿Cómo habla Stephen Covey? Can you say that again?
Yeah, please? Stephen Covey was a real popular author, and his book, you know, his book started The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Sí, habla de Stephen Covey, que habla de los 7 hábitos de las personas exitosas.
We're going to talk about the habits of highly effective spiritual awakening.
Y entonces vamos a hablar de los hábitos que afectan, entre comillas, el despertar espiritual.
Begin with the end in mind.
Comenzando por ending. What do you mean?
Begin with the end in your mind.
Comenzando por el final en tu mente.
Being God. Happiness.
Sí, siendo Dios la felicidad.
Supreme happiness.
La suprema felicidad.
And do not settle for anything less than that. Let's start there.
Y no permitir nada menos que eso.
Anything less than supreme happiness is
cualquier cosa
settling.
Diferente a la suprema felicidad is what?
Settle. You're settling for less than you.
Tú estás permitiendo algo menos de lo que eres tú.
So you can, and I talked about it in the little post about how you can have all kinds of spiritual awakening experiences.
Y yo he hablado en las publicaciones que podemos tener muchas experiencias de despertar.
And they're beautiful and they're helpful.
Y lo hermoso y lo útil que son.
Okay, you know, recognize, you won't even know which ones are your spiritual awakening. That's hilarious right there.
Y es particular porque no sabemos.
You know, I remember one of them, I followed Jesus, and my mind was just like empty. There was this like I couldn't put two thoughts together. Actually.
Y yo no podía ni siquiera poner dos pensamientos juntos cuando
You know,
toda la experiencia, no sé. No.
and I was with Francis Allen, and she looks over at me and she goes, "Oh, you're having a mystical experience."
Y yo estaba con Francis y ella me dijo, no, estás teniendo simplemente una experiencia espiritual.
Plane of consciousness, oh God, I don't have thoughts. Something must be wrong.
Y yo decía, uy, no tengo pensamientos, Dios, tiene que haber algo que está pasando, está mal.
Like thoughts hold some kind of value. Boy, we have to get over that to be awake.
Y como si los pensamientos tuvieran cierta clase de valor y tenemos que dejar esto.
But really, the Monty, I'm telling you, the Monty mystical experiences, they're amazing with Jesus, okay? I get it, mystical visions.
Y en el Manti, y nosotros teníamos muchas experiencias, y yo decía, Jesús.
Recognition of wholeness. Oh God, this love, this infinite love.
Y es reconocer todo este amor infinito.
Okay, this, the recognition that there's no separation, never happened, couldn't happen.
El reconocimiento de que la separación no ocurrió y que no pudo haber ocurrido.
Recognition of inner light, that's all there is.
El reconocimiento de que la luz es todo lo que es.
Awakening experience totally disidentified with I didn't know what a body was.
Experiencias espirituales donde no me identificaba con el cuerpo, donde no sabía qué era el cuerpo.
I'm grateful for every one of those.
Y yo estoy agradecida por todas esas experiencias.
But you are not supreme happiness. We're talking a consistent state of joy. Why would we settle for anything else for spiritual awakening?
Eso, pero eso no era la suprema felicidad. ¿Y por qué debemos aceptar algo que no sea eso?
And Course in Miracles, if you stay with it and do these things that Jesus asks you to do, you will experience that.
Y si haces esto como lo dice Jesús en el Curso de Milagros, tú vas a tener estas experiencias, vas a experimentar esto.
Every line in that book is true. Every line.
Cada línea en ese curso es cierta.
Remember, Jesus says you'll either take all of this or none of it.
Y como Jesús dice, lo tomamos todo o no lo tomamos.
Joy, unrelenting joy.
Un gozo constante.
So now we have to discover it is, we could just make a decision now. We're infinite being. It's not like God, okay, here's God's checklist for waking up. Okay, here it is. You got to follow this checklist.
Y no es que haya una lista de chequeo, que Dios tenga una lista de chequeo. Tienes que hacer esto para tu despertar espiritual.
The biggest challenge with spiritual awakening is the addiction to refusing to be awake.
El gran reto de despertar es no admitir que ya estamos despiertos.
And someone shared a quote. It might have been you, Maria. Someone shared that adyashanti, how he was talking about how beings say, I really want to be awake. I really do.
Y creo que tú, María, compartiste un escrito de Adyashanti donde dice que la gente dice, sí, yo quiero ser espiritual.
Jesus, I'll do everything except
y yo haré
my list.
Yo haré todo esto, excepto esto de mi lista.
The reason why you have to do everything Jesus has asked you to do.
Y la razón por la que tú debes hacer todo lo que Él te dice que hagas.
Is so that you can see that you need do nothing.
Porque es para que te des cuenta que tú no necesitas hacer nada.
You can talk about the Course in Miracles. You can talk about the quotes.
Tú puedes hablar del curso de milagros, puedes citar el curso.
Okay, but we want, finally, I just said, I have got to know. I just don't, whatever it takes.
Pero yo tenía que darme cuenta que tenía que hacer lo que requiriera.
And I think Adyashanti would say that too. It's you'll see it if you look at the beings that really fully, do the full Monty.
Y si yo creo que Adyashanti estaría de acuerdo esto. Si tú quieres hacer todo el full Monty, hacerlo todo el camino.
Go, Maria. Go all the way to happiness.
Es ir todo el camino hacia la felicidad.
Like joy, unrelenting joy.
Un gozo sin límites.
Okay. They are willing to do everything that Jesus says in A Course in Miracles.
Tienes que hacer todo lo que Jesús dice en el curso de milagros.
So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna share that list.
Entonces vamos a compartir esa lista.
Hopefully you're not just staring at a list the whole time. And I'm in the picture somewhere. I don't know. Is it putting me in the picture? I don't know. Oh well.
Yes.
I'm in there. Okay. Hello everyone. Yeah. I love you all. I'm so grateful.
Hola a todos. Los amo a todos.
We gotta go together. You can't go apart.
No, tenemos que ir juntos. No podemos ir separados.
Okay. So here's number one. So here's number one. You can
aquí está el número uno.
Okay. So these are going to be all things that you probably heard before.
Tú aquí vas a ver algunas cosas que ya hemos dicho con anterioridad.
The difference is we're going to have radical self-honesty.
Pero aquí vamos a tener una radical honestidad. Esa es la diferencia.
And that is for each one of these, go inside, do not judge it. Okay.
Y con cada una de ellas vamos a ir a nuestro interior y no vamos a juzgar.
Look, it's sort of like the light circles where you go in and you ask Jesus, like do a Jesus check-in, honesty of God.
Y así como hacemos en los círculos que vamos y preguntamos sí o no, Jesús, con honestidad, con la honestidad de Dios, Jesús.
The only way this works is radical. I don't think you can ask anyone, any being who's really happy. Yes. Anyone who's they're gonna go for it. You have to be totally self-honest with yourself about where you're in delusion.
Y requiere mucha honestidad, autohonestidad. Y tienes que mirar con honestidad dónde te estás engañando.
Because the ego is complete dishonesty about identity.
Porque el ego es totalmente deshonesto acerca de la identidad.
And so in A Course in Miracles, one of the greatest values, it talks about the voice for God, the voice for wholeness within you that knows where you're lying to yourself.
Y lo bello del curso es que nos habla de la voz de la plenitud, la voz que habla por Dios.
So then rather than spiritual awakening, we call it cease to deny who you already are.
Y nosotros la llamamos dejar de negar lo que en verdad eres.
Okay, cease to hit the snooze button of delusion.
Dejar de oprimir el botón para dormirnos en la ilusión.
And because of the addiction to the snooze button,
y por la adicción que tenemos a oprimir este botón,
meaning the unwillingness to evoke divine power to call the whole play off,
lo que significa no tener el poder, rehusar el poder de poder apagar todo esto.
We need some help out of delusion because the play of consciousness is to absolutely avoid divine power at all possible costs.
Por eso necesitamos una ayuda de fuera de la ilusión, porque el ego quiere que no aceptemos nuestro poder a toda causa, a toda.
The only thing you're going to find besides happiness is it gets funnier and funnier. Okay.
Y hay una cosa aquí que vamos encontrando es que cada día es más divertido y más divertido.
So we're going to number 1.
Vamos al número 1.
Okay. These apply to all spiritual traditions, but this is the same.
Esto aplica para todas las tradiciones
Like,
espirituales.
yeah, I'm going to go sneak over to Buddhism because because they don't have to be willing to do whatever it takes to see the truth. No?
What about the Buddhas?
Well,
Sorry?
some people might say, I'm going to leave A Course in Miracles because maybe those guys over there don't have to be willing to do whatever it takes to see the truth.
Ok, entonces le está preguntando qué era acerca del Buda. Dice no, yo creo que de pronto me voy para el budismo porque allá de pronto no tengo que hacer todo lo que me pidan que tengo que hacer.
Okay, so I tried a bunch of different things. It boils down to the same thing. Jesus.
Y podemos tratar muchas cosas, pero podemos preguntarle, Jesús.
This is honesty of God. This is honesty of God. Really, you want to ask that voice for wholeness. Am I willing to do whatever it takes to see the truth?
Entonces, Jesús, y con la honestidad de Dios, ¿estoy dispuesto a hacer lo que sea necesario para ver la verdad?
Whatever it takes. That you'll see it in Ramana Maharshi. You'll see it in Jesus.
Lo podemos ver en Ramana Maharshi y en Jesús.
Okay, you'll see it, David Hoffmeister. You'll see it, adyashanti. These beings are only devoted to the truth.
Y lo podemos ver en David Hoffmeister o en adyashanti. Ellos son devotos a la verdad.
The Buddha, he's determined to see the truth.
El Buda estaba determinado a ver la verdad.
Okay, but very few, see, all are called, few are going to say, I don't care what it takes, I am going to see the truth.
Y son muy pocos que dicen, voy a ver, no, la verdad no importa lo que requiera.
In A Course in Miracles, I saw that lesson, I am determined to see.
Y en el curso de milagros dice la lección, estoy determinado a ver.
I had no idea how much determination that was going to be needed.
Yo no estaba, no me podía dar cuenta cuánta determinación realmente se necesitaba.
I am determined to see. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to see the truth of who I am.
Estoy determinado a ver, estoy dispuesto a hacer lo que sea necesario para ver la verdad, quién soy.
So just take a note of that, you know, it's like, yeah, I'm kind of willing.
Y pueden tomar nota de esto y pueden escuchar, sí, tengo como un poco de voluntad.
It's got to be 100% in or 100% in, I'll just say.
Tiene que ser 100% adentro o 100% afuera.
You know, many of you have seen the Supreme Happiness checklist.
Y quizá algunos de ustedes han visto la lista de la suprema felicidad.
You know, it's the elements are going to be the same. There's no way to get
Y los
get
elementos
around it.
van a ser los mismos.
Okay. Number 2. Place
Número
God.
2.
Place God and his kingdom above all else.
Poner a Dios y su reino por encima de todo.
See, you don't even really know what you're placing when you say you want God in your kingdom because it's so obscure from the mind.
Y ni siquiera nosotros sabemos qué quiere decir poner Dios y su reino, porque está muy oscurecido en la mente.
But at some point I could see in my mind, it was like, I'm going to just freaking find out if supreme happiness is true.
Y en algún punto uno dice, como lo dije, no importa lo que requiera, voy a ver qué es la verdad.
I'm going to do whatever it takes, whatever he tells me to do to see
Y voy
it.
a hacer lo que requiera hacer y voy a hacer lo que él me diga que haga.
And you can ask yourself, Jesus,
Y ustedes pueden preguntarse a ustedes mismos.
am I willing to put God and his kingdom above all else?
Jesús, estoy dispuesto a poner a Dios y su reino por encima de todo.
In honesty of God and light of divine being.
En la honestidad de Dios y en la luz del ser divino.
And then for all the areas that I think I have a better plan, will you help me? Ask for his help for each one if you're getting a no.
Y si ustedes obtienen un no en cualquiera de estos, pueden preguntarle a Jesús por ayuda, pedirle ayuda a él.
And the bottom line is,
Y la
we have
línea.
the bottom line
Ujú.
is exactly A Course in Miracles. That's just this.
En
That's
últimas,
it.
todo esto es el curso de milagros.
There are, as we've talked about, 500 desires for something other than God listed in this book.
Y hemos encontrado más o menos 500 deseos listados en este curso.
Do all those need to be forgiven, Jesus?
Todos estos se requieren ser perdonados, Jesús.
So you can be coached by him to release a lot of the energy around that.
Y tú puedes, tienes que ser entrenado por él para liberar esto.
But you cannot do it your way. You have to let him coach you on every miracle.
Pero tú no lo puedes hacer de tu manera. Tú necesitas dejar que él dirija cada milagro.
You see, and what I can see following is how you get sandblasted with miracles.
Pero me doy cuenta que seguirlo es como nosotros nos unimos al milagro, aceptamos el milagro.
It's just not an option, because if you're not following God, you're buying a ticket to hell all day long.
Porque es esencial seguirlo, porque si no lo seguimos estamos comprando un tiquete al infierno.
You're investing in delusion.
Tú estarías invirtiendo en engaño.
See, we cannot know, because of the fragmentation in consciousness, where the delusion is. So you got to trust the man with the plan. You do.
Porque no podemos darnos cuenta con esta fragmentación donde está el engaño. Por eso necesitamos confiar en el man del plan.
And I'm going to be clear. It's beautiful to contemplate light. There's benefits to it.
Y ya hemos dicho que es muy beneficioso contemplar la luz.
You can have stunning, revelatory experiences.
Y tú puedes tener grandiosas experiencias revelatorias.
But it will not be a consistent state of joy without releasing all that subterranean content down there that he talks about in this book.
Pero no vas a tener una plena felicidad hasta que no liberes estos deseos subterráneos que están en este libro.
Okay, so again, to step outside of delusory thinking, you're going to the voice of wholeness, which is your voice, of course, for wholeness.
Para salirnos de este pensamiento ilusorio, tenemos que ir a la voz de la totalidad, que es tu voz.
Okay, and speaking only that voice, only the voice for truth.
Y hablar solo esa voz, es la voz de la verdad.
Okay. I'm asking Jesus, is there another way to do it?
Le estoy preguntando a Jesús si hay otra manera de hacerlo.
Because, again, it's that other voice, listening to the voice of delusion all day about who you are and how things work in the world.
Porque puedes también escuchar la otra voz, la voz del engaño, que te dice cómo funciona el mundo.
So I said before, you cannot see the divine power that Jesus is offering you.
Porque ya lo hemos dicho, no te das cuenta del poder que Jesús te está dando, ofreciendo.
Until you honor that you can do everything he asks you to do.
Hasta que no honres que tú puedes hacer todo lo que él te pida que hagas.
Because all he's going to do is, when he asks you to do something, is to uncouple you from your idea that happiness comes from doing something.
porque lo que hace él es que a través del hacer, él te muestra que deshace la creencia de que tu felicidad viene del hacer.
To uncouple you from the idea that your happiness comes from the choices that you make.
De deshacer la creencia de que tu felicidad depende de lo que tú hagas
Or don't make.
o no hagas.
Your happiness is identity.
Tu felicidad es identidad.
You know, we start out happy and then decided to have a desire for something else.
Porque comenzamos con la felicidad y vemos el deseo de una cosa diferente a eso.
Okay, Jesus says in A Course in Miracles,
Y Jesús lo dice en un curso de milagros.
sanity is restored to you through your desire.
La sanidad vuelve a ti. ¿Through
okay.
what?
Insanity comes from your desire for something other than God.
La locura viene del deseo de algo más diferente a Dios.
So sanity will be restored for your desire only for God, through your desire for God.
Y la corrección o la sanidad de la mente viene de tener el deseo solo por Dios.
Single pointed desire for God and his kingdom, all focus, all your energy, everything on knowing the truth, the God within.
Un solo foco, un solo objetivo, que es el reino de los cielos en nuestro interior.
And then the ego goes, well, I got a life to live.
Y luego viene el ego y dice, no, tengo una vida que vivir.
No, it's not living, it's dead. It's
no,
dead
no es
inside
vivirla.
thoughts and feelings and emotion.
No es vivirla, es morir en las emociones, en las adicciones.
Jesus, am I willing to fully accept your curriculum?
Jesús, ¿estoy dispuesto a aceptar completamente tu currículum?
In honesty of God and light of divine being.
En la honestidad de Dios y en la luz del ser divino.
Doesn't matter if you're course student or not, you can still talk to your inner voice for wholeness.
Y no importa si eres estudiante o no del curso, estamos hablando de la voz de la plenitud.
It's the same one, if you're contemplating light, it's the same voice that confirms that the light is never born and doesn't die.
Porque si contemplas la luz, sabes que es esta luz que es plena, que no nace ni muere.
Let that voice be the one that informs all your decisions.
Deja que esa voz sea la que tome las decisiones por ti.
So we come back to, so Jesus, am I willing or am holding back from fully hearing your voice? Yes or no?
Vamos a preguntarle, Jesús, ¿estoy reteniendo para escuchar tu voz, sí o no?
Am I deriving some kind of pleasure by not hearing your voice, blocking your voice?
¿Estoy obteniendo un cierto placer de no bloquear tu voz y no escucharla?
Am I deriving some kind of pleasure from not following your voice, some kind of power?
¿Estoy obteniendo cierto poder de no escucharla y no seguirla?
Do I derive some kind of pleasure, power, or happiness? Think I get happiness by not speaking the voice for God.
Estoy obteniendo placer y felicidad de no hablar la voz que habla por Dios.
Because heaven's upside down. See, so speaking the voice is considered to be sacrifice as opposed to the truth.
Porque tenemos invertido el cielo y el infierno y creemos que el no sé, escuchar su voz y no hablarla es el cielo.
That's why I'm saying, to ask him if you derive some kind of pleasure. See, pleasure comes out of the ego. That's belief. Pleasure's the ego's version of what it believes heaven is.
Y miremos si hay alguna clase de placer, porque la versión del ego es que el placer es el cielo.
So it's helpful, it's illuminating to see where we have pleasure and pain confused.
Es muy iluminador ver dónde tenemos invertidos el placer y el pleasure and,
Pain,
y el dolor,
confused with happiness.
confundidos con la felicidad.
So this is really the buck stops here.
Y
With
eso es,
self-honesty.
esto es donde decimos el bus para aquí, y la autohonestidad, la honestidad.
This is what the ego's terrified about, is being really self-honest about the delusion.
De ser honestos de dónde estamos siendo engañados.
Be self-honest and humble about admitting where you are delusional.
A ser humildes y ver dónde somos engañados.
It takes a lot of, it's so humbling. It's very, very humbling, this journey. Many of you know that from the light circles.
Este es un camino muy humilde y quizá ustedes lo pueden ver por los círculos de luz.
But without humbling that face of innocence, there's no way to see the truth.
Y que sin esa humildad no podemos ver la verdad.
Oh, I just keep going back to the lesson. I am determined to see.
Y tengo que regresar a la lección. Estoy determinado a ver.
Nothing can stop you from seeing the truth. Nothing, if you want to see it.
Nada te puede detener de ver la verdad si tú quieres verla. Nada.
Nothing stops us from experiencing that consistent state of joy other than the addiction to something other than joy.
Nada te puede detener de estar en un estado de gozo a menos de que tengas el deseo.
We call it honesty of God, this deep, radical self-honesty.
Y nosotros llamamos a esta radical honestidad, la honestidad de Dios.
This is the light circles for those that really want God and his kingdom. That is radical self-honesty.
Y para eso son los círculos de luz para los que quieren el reino de los cielos. Y eso requiere autohonestidad.
And that's what it takes. It takes the help of your brother to see where you're being delusional.
Y eso es lo que requiere ver con tu hermano dónde estamos siendo engañables.
So part of that humility is asking Jesus, am I willing to be radically self-honest?
Podemos preguntarle a Jesús, ¿estoy dispuesto a ser radical, tener radical honestidad?
Am I willing to rely on you for what's truly honest?
¿Puedo confiar en ti que eres esta honestidad?
Because delusion is the dishonesty.
Porque el engaño es deshonestidad.
You know, the ego makes this big deal. Oh, I stole a cookie, and so I'm going to admit that I stole a cookie, and that's honesty.
Y el ego cree que, mira, yo me robé una galleta, eso es honestidad.
No, the only honesty is admitting you're delusional.
Y la única honestidad es admitir que hemos sido engañados.
But, you know, we all have delusional disease. The question are we going to choose something different than that?
Y todos sabemos que somos engañados, pero la pregunta es, ¿estamos dispuestos a cambiar esto, a
Boy,
elegir de nuevo?
this is such a call for all of us to acceptance of divine power, you know? We're not some kind of wimps here.
Y esto es donde nos es llamado a aceptar nuestro poder y no vernos como debiluchos, débiles.
See, and part of that, of course, is number 5.
Y parte de eso es el número 5.
To devote yourself to accept corrections, miracles quickly.
Es estar devoto a aceptar la corrección, los milagros rápidamente.
The power of this.
El poder de esto.
You're invoking your divine power to cease to invest in delusion.
Tú estás invocando tu poder divino para dejar de invertir en el engaño.
And so, if anyone joins from some other non-dual that really wants to take a look, this is infinitely powerful for releasing that subconscious content of desires for something other than God.
Y para si hay alguien que venga aquí a esta sesión y que venga de la no dualidad, lo que hacemos es mirar los deseos subconscientes del autoengañarnos.
It's a desire. Ramana spoke about latent ego tendencies. Many teachers, spiritual teachers, you have to look at desires.
Y Ramana hablaba de esto también, de las tendencias.
Okay.
Y de la importancia de mirar los deseos.
Which your secret wishes below your level of awareness to play the game of delusion, of Maya.
Y porque es el juego de la malla de engañarnos.
The power of A Course in Miracles, it gives you a specific means to go to the voice for wholeness and be shown exactly where you're delusional.
Y en el curso se ha dado una especial importancia a la voz a la cual vas y le preguntas dónde te estás engañando.
And see that you have all the power to look directly to say, I am not going to choose that delusion anymore.
Y ver que tú tienes el poder de no elegir más ese engaño.
I am willing to change my mind that desired delusion has any value. I refuse for that to have any value to me.
Es rehusarme a darle valor, a no darle más valor a ese engaño.
I the more I go, the more of a fan of A Course in Miracles I get.
Yo me he vuelto más fan del curso de milagros que de lo que podía hacer.
Because I don't know of another spiritual tradition that shows you how abjectly powerful you are.
Porque no he visto otra tradición espiritual que me muestre todo el poder que tenemos.
How you chose, the buck stops here, you chose the miscreation, you can unchoose it. Unchoose Maya.
Ver que hemos elegido el engaño y que podemos decir este bus para aquí y dejar de seguir el maya.
To completely undo the wheel of samsara.
El completo parar a la rueda del samsara.
But the proof is, you'll know them by their fruits.
Pero la prueba es que te conocerás por los frutos.
Unrelenting joy.
Es un gozo pleno.
Like it's a fountain.
Es una fuente.
Okay, so Jesus, am I willing to devote myself to changing my mind about delusion quickly?
Jesús, soy devoto a que mi mente sea corregida rápidamente.
Am I willing to see that I'm the one choosing every delusion that I experience? Am I willing to see that?
Estoy dispuesto a ver que yo soy el que estoy eligiendo todas estas experiencias.
I could see that. I just wanted, I'd talk about this, like wanting when's the enlightenment fairy when's it gonna tap me on the head?
Y yo decía, pero ¿cuándo es que la iluminación me va a tocar en la cabeza?
Because it just seems like all these beings around me are healed, they're or not healed. I'm not going to use the word healed. They seem to be enlightened.
Porque todos estos seres que están aquí parecieran ser iluminados
Okay.
sanos, que estuvieran sanos.
But there's only one thing. You have all the power, Dorothy,
Y, pero tú tienes todo el poder como Dorothy
to click the heels together and see that we're home.
de chasquear tus zapatos y darte cuenta que estás en tu hogar.
But, you know, for whatever reason that makes no sense whatsoever, I can say I chose insanity over
Pero por la
happiness.
razón que sea, seguimos eligiendo la locura en lugar de la felicidad.
That you will not, I'm telling you, you're not going to be going, God, I just had such a horrible spiritual and it was horrible and it went on for years and all that stuff. If you're going all the way to supreme happiness, you are not going to be talking about that.
Sorry, Kay, I lost you. Can you repeat
Okay.
that?
So if you've gone to happiness, you are not going to be sitting there going, this was horrible and it lasted for years and I had a terrible spiritual awakening experience.
Tú no vas a estar sentado, digamos, o emplazado en la felicidad y vas a decir, uy, yo tuve terribles experiencias de despertar.
Because you're going to see that you chose it all yourself and it's going to be funny.
Y porque tú te vas a dar cuenta que tú las elegiste y eso va a ser divertido.
And nothing happened.
Y que nada pasó.
But the ego is going to it has such an itch. I can see it. The ego wants to be involved in spiritual awakening.
Y el ego va a querer estar involucrado en el despertar espiritual. Lo podemos ver.
And it loves to decide where the miracles are needed and what it needs to do to wake up and which spiritual teachers. It loves all that.
Él le gusta definir qué milagros realizar, con qué maestros estudiar.
And now that it figures out that, all I have to do is go to the Course in Miracles and release all 500 of these, and I know how I'm going to do it.
Y ahora bueno, ya sé que tengo que coger el curso y liberar los 500 deseos porque ya sé cómo hacerlo.
You can have a spiritual awakening experience, but you will not have abiding awakening because the ego's whole purpose is to make it look spiritually good and put a brakes on all of it.
Y tú puedes tener experiencias de despertar muy lindas y eso es como tener mordiscos del despertar, pero no vas a tener el despertar completo porque el ego va a querer poner el freno.
So you can develop the identity of a Course in Miracles student or a Course in Miracles teacher, but you won't be doing a Course in Miracles.
Porque tú puedes desarrollarte como un estudiante o un profesor de un curso de milagros, pero no vas a ser supremamente feliz.
The only way to do a Course in Miracles is follow him, follow the voice for wholeness. If you don't like calling it Jesus, it's a voice for wholeness within.
Y no vas a hacer el curso porque la única forma es siguiendo la voz, a Jesús como la voz
To show
de
you
la plenitud.
every place in your mind where you're delusional.
Y para que Él te muestre en tu mente dónde, a las partes donde puede ser engañado.
It's not a partial deal. It's not a part-time thing. It just because
No es un trato parcial, no es un trabajo de tiempo parcial.
God gives you happiness 24/7.
Dios te dio la felicidad 7/24.
And so if you're not following him 24/7, you're following the ego, which is the denial of happiness.
Y si tú no estás siguiendo 7/24, estás siguiendo al ego y negando tu felicidad.
Jesus, in honesty of God, do I relish not accepting miracles quickly? Do I like delaying miracles? Do I think that's heaven?
Jesús disfrutó retrasando los milagros. Creo que eso es el cielo.
Good to see.
Es bueno verlo.
But even accepting miracles, I found, I really had to trust him and work with him. Again, as you guys are seeing in the light circles, you've got a partner.
Y como lo ven en los círculos de luz, ustedes van a tener un compañero.
Okay, so here is one of the jumbo jet, humongous blocks right here.
Aquí tenemos uno gigante, un bloqueo gigante.
Number 6.
El número 6.
Oh, number 5. Let's not skip 5. It's important.
We did, okay, we ready. Estamos, van a mirar el 6.
Oh, by the way, Maria, I forgot to ask Helena, did you guys have a chance to translate this? Because we'll have it in Spanish.
Yeah, she sent me something.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys, we're gonna have this in Spanish. We'll get this out.
Bueno, vamos a tener esta parte en español, que me estaba preguntando si Lina me había enviado algo, y sí.
Okay.
Que sí.
So just hang in there, it's coming.
Entonces ya esperen, ya está por llegar.
On YouTube, we'll link to this page and we'll link to the Spanish when it's ready.
Y vamos a hacer un link en YouTube y vamos a hacer uno para español cuando esté listo.
Jesus, am I willing to admit I have never been sustainably happy, consistently happy? Am I willing to admit that?
Jesús, estoy dispuesto a admitir que nunca he sido constantemente feliz.
This is the greatest sticking point. Jesus, do I believe my way works?
Y este es un punto importante. Jesús, ¿creo que el mundo me ha funcionado?
See, you can look, because we know we got, many of you know there's 80 of the desires from A Course in Miracles at the back of Jesus, this book, Jesus, a New Covenant.
Y como ustedes saben, tenemos en la última parte 80 deseos sacados de un curso de milagros.
Okay? And it's helpful. We have chapter 20 partners for those who want to learn how to hear Jesus' voice, to go through each of these together and ask Jesus and be coached to change your mind about it.
Y tenemos entonces los compañeros de capítulo 20 para ir con Jesús a través de ellos y ser sanada la mente.
For instance, here it is right here. You believe you can do a better job.
Y aquí, por ejemplo, tenemos uno, tú crees que tú puedes hacer un mejor trabajo.
Thus, you desire an experience of attempting to do a better job than God.
Así vas a tener el deseo de una experiencia de intentar hacer un mejor trabajo que Dios.
Okay, now, you can work with him on these 80 desires and get a lot of clearing.
Y sí, tú puedes ir con él y trabajar estos deseos y tener bastante claridad.
And you'll notice that you'll get a lot of miracles, working in light circles and that sort of thing.
Y puedes ver que obtienes muchos milagros trabajando en los círculos de luz.
Okay.
Estas clases de cosas.
But you cannot undo completely things like, I like being in control. I like guilt. I believe my brothers can take God from me.
Pero vemos que no podemos ir completamente full a las creencias de can you read the beliefs?
You believe that your brother can steal heaven from you.
Tú crees que tu hermano te puede robar el cielo.
You desire an experience of control.
Tú tienes el deseo de una experiencia de control.
You believe you have a choice to be separate from God.
Tú crees que tienes una opción de estar separado de Dios.
You believe you have no access to the kingdom of heaven.
Tú crees que no puedes tener acceso al reino de los cielos.
You believe you are without the kingdom of heaven.
Tú crees que estás fuera del reino de los cielos.
But you have to see that without 100% following him, you will have dreams. Go ahead.
Pero tú te das cuenta que se requiere el 100% de seguir.
But it is in the following that he can demonstrate to you, and you can have these things fully erased out of your mind.
Pero te das cuenta que en el seguir es que puedes ver que todo esto surge y puede ser sanado de tu mente.
As valuable.
Es muy valioso.
You know, I remember Gary asked the question, like, why do these things keep coming up over and over, even though I've forgiven them?
Y creo que Gary era el que decía, ¿por qué esto vuelve y surge si yo lo he perdonado y lo he perdonado?
Because, number one, he has to coach which miracles and tell you whether you have completely wiped those things out of your mind. No scratch.
Y porque él tiene que dirigir los milagros y tiene que ir completamente hasta que no quede ningún residuo del deseo.
But I can hear Jesus right now, and I get it. In order to totally get the eraser out, you've got to follow, because otherwise you may clear these, but you're still you're thinking you've cleared them, but you still have scraps of investment of wanting to be in control and wanting it to be your way.
Pero se requiere el seguir, porque ahí es donde se limpia completamente el deseo, por ejemplo, de control o hacerlo a tu manera.
I cannot overemphasize how it has to be 100% following on everything.
Y no puedo dejar de decir que se requiere el seguir el 100% en todo.
You know, beings love to ask things like, you know, Jesus, who do I call to get my vacuum cleaner fixed?
Hay seres que dicen, bueno, Jesús, ¿cómo debo arreglar mi aspiradora?
But we don't ask the fundamental question, am I even living in the right state, Jesus? Am I in the right place right now to heal my mind?
Pero no preguntamos, Jesús, ¿estoy en el lugar adecuado para sanarme la mente, en el estado, en el lugar, en el estado?
So the ego loves that. You know, the ego, the spirit will try to give a prompt, like go to California.
Y el espíritu nos da, digamos, guías, como ve a California.
And then the ego decides, oh, I'll go to California and then I'll do this and I'll do that. You know, I'm following spirit because I'm in California. No, you have to be in California, living in the house he tells you, with the friends he tells you to have.
Y sí, porque el ego va a decir, sí, listo, ya estoy siguiendo la guía, ya estoy en California, entonces hago esto y lo otro. Pero tienes que ir a California y a estar en la casa que te guíe el espíritu y con los compañeros que él te guíe.
The thing I've learned about Jesus is he's precise.
Y una cosa que he aprendido de Jesús es que él es preciso.
The instructions aren't generally take a trip to Mexico or whatever. It's go to Mexico and then you'll get your other specific instructions. Here's what to do.
Y entonces, por ejemplo, él te dice, ve a México y luego te va diciendo las instrucciones de lo que tienes que hacer después.
So let's just say he sends you somewhere, but you say, no, I'm not going. I can be wherever I am and still hear Jesus and follow him.
Y digamos que él te dice que vaya a algún lugar y tú dices, no, no lo voy a hacer y voy a estarme aquí y voy a, porque Jesús está aquí conmigo.
But what we don't see is you're making a decision to live inside of a dark dungeon and put a crack in it for a little bit of light that Jesus can eke through when you're not fully following him.
Y lo que no quieres ver es que lo estás encerrando en un lugar donde le estás dejando un pequeño espacio donde entre la luz de Jesús.
You know, you're having it your way. You cannot wake up with your way. There's not, no.
Y tú lo estás queriendo hacer a tu manera y no vas a despertar de esa manera.
You can contemplate light all you want. You'll be happy, but you'll still be trapped on the hell timeline of pain You may not suffer, but you're going to have pain, potentially body illness, all these kinds of things. It has to be 100%.
Pero tú vas a tener dolor y porque se requiere definitivamente el 100% de seguirlo.
Because that's the only way you're going to see how powerful your mind is to say no to that stuff, like pain or something that comes up. You won't see how powerful your mind is.
Y no te vas a poder dar cuenta de lo poderoso que es tu mente.
Okay? Because not following is investing in weakness. See, it's investing in the devil's way.
Porque no seguirlo es invertir en en la forma en el ego.
So it is, people call it surrender. It's just, for me, it was just, my way doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't work.
Y hay mucha gente que lo llama a esto rendirse, pero para mí fue simplemente darme cuenta que nada de esto funcionaba.
But the abject freedom and joy in the mind from doing, I'll do whatever you ask me to do, okay.
Pero la libertad que viene de hacer lo que él me dice.
Because you see, it always points up to heaven, but at first the ego's going to complain about that and go, oh, I'm going to hell and I'm going to die and oh my
Pero
gosh.
porque él siempre apunta hacia el cielo y el ego va a decir, no, voy a morir.
You know, bless Kirsten Buxton saying, do you have any idea how many times I've had to say no to the ego?
Y mucho amor a Kristen Boston que me decía, no sabes cuántas veces tienes que decirle no al ego.
I do now a lot.
Y lo hago,
lot.
Aún muchas veces.
You know, yes, it's a lot of saying no, because we think we're weak.
Y hay mucho decir no, porque nosotros creemos que somos débiles.
But all he's showing you is how all your miscreations, how you're miscreating delusion for yourself.
Porque todo lo que es que te van a mostrar dónde estás creando engaño para ti mismo.
It's so far out of inside of the bubble, really, what joy is. It's just, you might get a little squeak of it from contemplating life. It's beautiful, it's wonderful.
Y realmente dentro de la burbuja es muy difícil ver el gozo. Quizá puedas tener unos pequeños destellos cuando estás contemplando la luz.
But we're talking about being unwilling to settle for anything other than unrelenting joy.
Pero aquí estamos hablando de tener un gozo constante.
You know, and I've seen that with beings, you know, that, you know, talk about being awakened and have beautiful spiritual awakening experiences and seeing it's all whole and it's all one.
Y hemos hablado aquí de tener estas experiencias maravillosas donde nos damos cuenta de que todo es una sola cosa, que somos uno.
And we can all celebrate. It's wonderful to crack through that, God, I believe I'm separated thing.
Y esto es maravilloso, ver que se puede romper esto de creer que estamos separados.
But then, you know, they're on their website or their blog talking about how bad things are. And, you know, there's just a lot of, you know, noise and it's horrible. And it's all this thing. All that means is there's just more to see, and just see it and do not settle until you're 100% happy all the time.
Y luego vemos estas páginas donde dice lo terrible de ciertas cosas, porque vemos que no tenemos que parar hasta que seamos supremamente felices constantemente.
For no reason whatsoever.
Y ser felices sin ningún motivo, sin ninguna
That's your
razón.
natural state, just like a fountain of happiness.
Eso es tu estado natural, una fuente de felicidad.
So Jesus, this is the sticking point, man. Do I still believe my way works?
Este es un punto importante. Jesús, ¿aún creo que a mi manera funciona?
Do I still think I know what I'm doing when it comes to spiritual awakening?
Aún creo que yo sé cómo tienen que ser las cosas en mi despertar espiritual.
See, the only way really I can see was following guidance to where he showed me I didn't know Jack. Okay.
Y fue siguiendo lo que
Is
me
it-
di cuenta que yo no sabía ni un pepino.
I don't know. It's like a spiritual blast. Some of those guidance things you get like sandblasted by the spirit. All these beliefs get shattered by following.
Y tienes que pegarte el espíritu
It's just shattered.
siguiéndolo.
You know, it's just so profound.
Esto es tan profundo.
You can't be happy about being wrong until you follow enough so he can show you that you are.
Tú no te das cuenta lo infeliz que eres hasta que comienzas a seguirlo.
Okay, so we know this from A Course in Miracles.
Nosotros sabemos esto por el curso de
See,
milagros.
If you still got a bunch of my way, highway in you, you're not going to be willing to be shown you're wrong about everything.
Si aún crees que a mi manera es la manera, no vas a permitir que te muestren cuán equivocado estás.
So I can see the mind has to lock down on changing the mind about being willing, like leave no area of your mind not available to him.
Es importante estar dispuesto y tener toda la mente completamente disponible.
Like prayer was that I would have no scrap, no, you know, I want not anything. I wanted the wind to whistle through.
Y mi oración era que no quede ni un residuo. Quería mi ventana totalmente limpia.
And I see the only way to do that is by 100% following, because that's how he helps you, show you the little crevices and cracks and cobwebs in your mind that you're deluding yourself with.
Y porque así es como él te muestra los residuos en tu mente.
Okay. And part of that following, he's bringing my mind back. You must be only accept the mighty companions that he gives you and embrace them. Even when you want to kill them, you embrace them.
Y la forma también es estar con los compañeros poderosos que él te dé, aun cuando quieras matarlos. Sí.
You know, because the ego wants to do the best job it can, choosing it's the people to hang around that's going to keep it deluded the longest.
Porque el ego va a querer que tú estés con las personas donde tú estés engañado y te demores.
You know, that's why, you know, I just value. Jesus says, okay, this is mighty for you. I just, you know, you get like a homing pigeon.
Y es como seguir con el compañero que Jesús te diga.
You know, now your world's not going to end if they say no. You just have the willingness. You know, if this is the one I'm to go all the way with, or to spend 15 minutes with, I trust him. He knows what I need to see, and he's showing it to me through my brother.
Porque Jesús me muestra a través de mis hermanos lo que tengo que yo ver.
Because all someone that you're around can show you when you want to kill them is how much you want to kill yourself.
Porque lo que te muestra es que lo mucho que tú te quieres matar a ti mismo.
The sheer relishing of the desire to kill the infinite light of being out of awareness, that happiness out of awareness, that's all they can show you.
Es el deseo de matar toda la luz de la conciencia. Eso es lo que él te puede mostrar.
So I just cannot emphasize the value of when you're given a mighty two, you're constantly asking, is this complete? Have I fully gone all the way on this assignment, Jesus?
Y es importante ver que cuando te da un compañero tienes que preguntar si está completa la función con esta persona, está completamente realizada.
Has the healing in my mind been maximized?
¿Ha sido la sanación de mi mente maximizada?
And then when it's complete and your function together is complete, then I mean, you don't hang on to it. You just see, you know, you thank the heavens for it. And then you know, he'll give you the next right mighty companion.
Y entonces cuando esta función está completa, él te dará el siguiente compañero de viaje.
This is how he shows you you're wrong. You're wrong about what you think other people are.
Y así es como él demuestra cuando estás equivocada acerca de lo que son estas.
Because the beliefs you have seemingly about an other are the beliefs you hold about yourself.
Porque las creencias que tú tienes acerca de un otro, de un hermano, es lo que es las creencias que tienes acerca de ti mismo.
So that's all there is to not following. It's just some place in your mind you don't want to see through the delusion. That's all it is. It's
Cuando no seguimos que no queremos ver dónde nos estamos engañando.
when you don't follow, you're just saying, I want to keep delusion. Thank you very much. And that's
Cuando no seguimos, decimos simplemente, quiero seguir en el engaño, gracias, muy amable.
Jesus, I do not want to be wrong. I want to keep being right. That's all that's happening.
Todo lo que estoy diciendo es, Jesús, yo no estoy equivocado, yo quiero estar yo estoy en lo correcto.
I'm not willing to see that I'm wrong about that God made me happiness.
No estoy dispuesto a estar equivocado de que Dios me hizo la felicidad.
So number 8, give over everything you think and do to the voice for God. Everything.
Dar todo lo que pensamos y hacemos a la voz por Dios. A la voz de Dios.
On the last one, let's just check in. Jesus, am I willing to be wrong about everything? Okay, if you get a flat no, you can work with them.
Bueno, vamos a chequear en la anterior, en el 7. Estoy dispuesto a que me muestres que estoy equivocado acerca de todo. Y si tenemos un grano,
Am I willing to give over everything I think and do to the voice for God, to God?
y vamos entonces a la 8. Estoy dispuesto a dar todo lo que pienso y hago a la voz de Dios.
Meaning, am I willing to give it to the Holy Spirit to burn all the chaff and leave only the good wheat?
Lo que significa es darle la paja y dejar
To burn all the chaff and leave only the good wheat.
dejar que se queme toda la paja y dejar el trigo, el buen trigo.
Okay. Wheat meaning, wheat was very precious because that was food and you got to get all the dust and the little, you got to clean those wheat berries off, right?
Porque es en dejar, sorry,
You want to have pure wheat berries to make your bread. They're the little wheat seeds. So
sí, entonces queremos dejar el buen trigo para hacer un buen pan y que se limpie la paja.
It's just the symbol of just clearing out all the delusion.
Y es el símbolo de dejar que se limpie todo el engaño.
And the ego is going to look at this list and go, well, this is just too much.
Y el ego va a decir, no, esto es demasiado.
I get it, but
Lo entiendo, pero
you have the power to do it if you decide to.
Pero tú tienes el poder de hacerlo si tú así lo decides.
Just a happy decision. Well, at first it doesn't feel happy, but
Esa es una feliz decisión. Bueno, al principio no os parece tan feliz.
refuse. Oh, well, ask him, Jesus, am I willing to give over everything that I think and do to the voice for God? Yes or no?
Vamos a preguntarle, Jesús, ¿estoy dispuesto a dar todo lo que pienso y hago a la voz de Dios?
Refuse to allow a single scrap of delusion to remain.
Estoy dispuesto a permitir que sea limpiado cualquier residuo que aún permanezca.
Jesus, am I willing to refuse to allow a single scrap of delusion to remain?
Jesús, estoy dispuesto a permitir que no quede ni un solo trozo de ilusión.
was so helpful when he said, "You too tolerant."
Es muy útil cuando él te dice, tú eres muy tolerante.
I don't know, that turned me around. It really did when he told me I was too tolerant. It did.
Y yo creo que no está siendo tolerante cuando él me dijo eso.
You know, because I saw he was right. I was tolerating all this scrapnel in my mind.
Y sí, él tenía la razón de que yo estaba tolerando todos estos residuos.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Am I going to turn it all over, every scrap, Jesus?
¿Estoy dispuesto a darte todo esto, todos estos residuos?
This is the talk for those who really, really want to know. Does it take all this? I say unequivocally, yes, it does.
Y esto es para los que quieren hacer todo el camino.
But the celebration, what it yields is infinite.
Y es la celebración de lo que es infinito.
10. Mary and I
El
talk
décimo.
about this one all the time.
Mary habla de todo el tiempo.
Okay, I'm just going to say it. Doggedly tenacious.
Sé
I don't
obstinado, tenaz y consistente.
I don't know how we say doggedly tenacious in Spanish.
Yes, I know.
Let's just see what the translator said.
Ok. Van a mirar qué dice el traductor de.
I don't know if it'll come across. Let's see. Doggedly tenacious. No.
Sí.
Tenaz.
Obstinadamente tenaz.
Okay. Meaning a dog is going to bite down on that bone and it's not letting go.
Lo que significa es que nos cojamos como un perro de ese hueso y que no lo soltemos.
Hanging on to Jesus' feet and I'm not letting go until I'm supremely happy.
De ponernos en los pies de Jesús y no soltarlos hasta que seamos supremamente felices.
Because it does feel sometimes like you're being stripped or you're driving through a firestorm or whatever, but it is not more powerful than you are.
Y pues, algunas veces vamos a sentir que estamos pasando por una tormenta de fuego, pero eso no es más poderoso de lo que nosotros somos.
And he's offering a really gentle way looking at these desires with him.
Y él está ofreciendo una forma gentil que es mirar todos estos deseos con él.
So if you're in some kind of kerfuffle, it's joining is the solvent. You join quickly and look and get your miracle.
Y cuando es únete y obtén tu milagro cuando tengas una molestia.
The greatest challenge with spiritual awakening is that the play of consciousness is to be tenacious about denying that God is here.
Lo difícil de despertar espiritual es ser tercos de no ver que Dios está aquí.
Okay, and then the consistency. I do not think I can say enough about consistency.
Y creo que no puedo hablar lo suficiente acerca del tema de la consistencia.
Oh, it's so valuable. It's so valuable.
Es tan valioso, tan valioso.
Because, I mean, it's the whole example. Why is he having us do something every single day for 365 days?
Esa es la razón por la cual él nos pide que hagamos todas estas lecciones por 365 días del año.
Consistency.
Por la consistencia.
Consistency. Do everything I ask you to do. Consistency.
Es hacer todo lo que él nos diga consistentemente.
Mental boards. Oh, that's a good one, Michael. I'm coming back to that one. Okay. You just mentioned. Okay. You're not doggedly tenacious about you're not doggedly tenacious about fighting the ego. This is not what we're talking about.
No estamos hablando de ser obstinadamente tenaces para negar.
You are doggedly tenacious about following the voice for God and getting your miracles.
Entonces estamos hablando de ser obstinadamente tenaces para obtener nuestros milagros.
You're doggedly tenacious, so when you get a twitch, you jump a join with a brother and get your miracle. Get your miracle.
De ser obstinadamente tenaces cuando tenemos una molestia de unirnos con un hermano y obtener nuestro milagro.
You're doggedly tenacious about not accepting scraps of delusion in your mind. I will not accept that. I am going to not have
de ser obstinadamente tenaces en no admitir un trozo de ilusión.
You know, you're consistent. So the ego is inconsistent. It follows the Holy Spirit on some things and not other things. It's selective.
Porque el ego es selectivo, sigue al espíritu en unas cosas y en otras no.
Okay, you're doggedly tenacious. You bite down on the bone. I am going to see if this freaking Course in Miracles is true. Every freaking sentence. That's doggedly tenacious.
Entonces, ser obstinadamente tenaz es como coger este hueso y no soltarlo, como coger el curso y mirar que cada línea es cierta.
You're doggedly tenacious about fulfilling your function of supreme happiness. I am going to see this.
Ser obstinadamente tenaz es what?
I'm going to see this. I'm going to see supreme. I'm going to experience supreme happiness. I'm determined.
Es ser determinado a experimentar la suprema felicidad.
Because the ego is going to throw up, you know, it coughs up, you know, all kinds of hairballs. You know, it's a hairball machine.
Porque el ego va a lanzar bolas, como una máquina que lanza bolas.
If it coughs up a hairball, don't examine the hairball, go to Jesus.
Y si esto pasa, simplemente no te quedes en eso y ve a donde Jesús.
It's like Muji would say that I'm asking her. Yeah, Muji would say, if you throw up on the sidewalk, you know, don't go dig. Oh, that's so great.
Muji diría,
you don't go. No, you go to Jesus. You know, it's consciousness is a sensation machine. We put our quarters in so we can.
Porque la conciencia es una máquina de emociones y debemos ir a Jesús.
Do not interpret. Jesus, do I need a miracle for this?
Y no interpretes simplemente, Jesús, ¿necesito un milagro para esto?
Oh, no, I don't. All right, fine. Oh, yes, I do. You know, it's the fastest way.
No lo necesitas, o sí, sí lo necesitas.
So be tenacious.
Este es el camino más rápido.
Be tenacious and only following the voice.
Sé tenaz y sigue la voz.
And consistent in following the voice.
Y de manera consistente sigue la voz.
You know, every day it's a priority to have miracles, not just one little miracle. You know, and the ego loves that. It loves to have a little ooch. I mean, a miracle's good, but the ego, God, it co-ops miracles. I can't say how much ego co-ops and goes, I got a miracle, and no healings occurred.
Y porque vemos como el ego coapta los milagros y no deja que los milagros ocurran.
The question is, has the healing fully occurred, Jesus?
Y la pregunta es, Jesús, ¿la sanación ha ocurrido plenamente?
Okay, and then you know that you kind of cleared the deck of any kind of subconscious content.
Porque tú vas a querer limpiar la cena de estos deseos subconscientes.
Okay, so Michael says, I notice when I am doggedly tenacious, it feels very much like mental sword fights.
Michael dice que me doy cuenta cuando soy obstinadamente tenaz. The second part of
mental sword fights.
What is that?
Sword fight. A sword.
Okay, como porque soy como que tengo una mente como una espada.
Okay. The ego is it's a thought machine.
Porque el ego es una máquina de pensamientos.
Then thoughts and beliefs, and then they express out as emotion.
Y estos pensamientos, creencias, emociones se expresan.
Okay, and then that goes to, the proof and sensory experience. Oh, there must be other out there because I can feel it.
Y entonces vienen las experiencias sensoriales y dicen, debe haber alguien ahí afuera porque yo lo puedo sentir.
So stay doggedly tenacious. I am determined to see how I am generating all these thoughts.
Entonces, hay que ser obstinadamente tenaces para decir, voy a ver que yo estoy generando estos pensamientos.
Jesus, do I have a desire for mental sword fights? Do I like them? Yes or no?
Jesús, tengo el deseo de la mentalidad de espada.
And then you can join and just go, golly, there's so much mental, it's all mental noise, mental distractions.
Y simplemente si dice, sí, nos unimos porque todo esto son distracciones mentales.
You see, it's just abject relief because the ego's throwing out constant do this and you can do that and how about that and this and that and this and that all the time.
Porque el ego dice, tú puedes hacer esto y hacer lo otro y hacer lo otro, esto y esto, todo el tiempo.
And what's wrong with those people and what the hell's going on? It's like this all day long.
Y es como esto, ¿qué pasa con esa gente? Y todo eso pasa durante todo el día.
How do you break it? Break that habit?
¿Y cómo rompes ese hábito?
Join with your brother, with Jesus to look.
Mira, únete con tu hermano a mirar con Jesús.
Jesus, what do I need to see?
Jesús, ¿qué necesito ver?
The more desires for something other than peace, the less of these thought sword fights going on.
Can you say that again?
The more desires that are released, the less of the mind noise that's there.
Entre más deseos libere, menos ruido hay en la mente.
And if you're cutting them off by going, the things that are arising and you think you need to do, and you're going to Jesus, is that you talking to me?
Y entre más los cortes y le digas, cuando llegan estos pensamientos, Jesús, ¿eres tú quien me está hablando?
And the other thing is really getting in the habit, and I could see how valuable that is. The ego is going to complain about guidance. That's what it does. It's going to tell you you're going to die.
Y el ego va a quejarse de la guía porque y te va a decir que tú vas a morir, porque eso es lo que hace el ego.
And the faster you can learn to say no to that noise, the more you accept divine power, and you're not spinning your wheels inside of, oh my, I'm going to die and all this stuff. You just go.
Entre más rápido mires esto, simplemente como que más rápido lo puedes sanar.
And if you're not sure about it, you join with Brothers through Guidance Worksheet, to be more clear. You ask Jesus to send you a brother. Okay, it's clear that you can join with. You ask him and then follow who he says.
Y bueno, entonces tú le preguntas a él si me debo unir con un hermano y únete con el que él te diga que te unas.
The last thing the ego wants to join with is a brother who's clear on hearing the voice.
Y lo que menos va a querer el ego es unirse con un hermano que escuche claramente la voz.
But if you want this talk is for those who like, I want full Monty. I'm going to find out if that course is true.
Y esta charla es para las personas que quieren ir con el full Monty y ver encontrar qué es la
You will
verdad.
glue yourselves to the mighties that he gives you to go all the way with. He's going to give you some.
Y te vas a unir, te vas a pegar con estos compañeros que él te diga que te unas, porque él te va a dar algunos compañeros.
If you're really sincere in following, he will give you the mighties, but you're going to want to toss them out before you're going to.
Si tú eres sincero y bueno, él te va a dar unos compañeros. Pero bueno, en un principio vas a querer patearlos.
But that's the whole point. That's the whole point of that, is because they're the ones, and that's why the ego avoids these mighties, because Jesus is going to show you the ones that are going to be the most sure to piss you off the quickest.
Porque precisamente por eso luego quiere evadir esto, porque Jesús te va a dar los compañeros que te van a sacar de casillas lo más rápido posible.
But there's nothing outside of you, so all he's showing you is how you use an excuse of, it seems to be a brother or some sound or some noise or something happening, to deny yourself just being ridiculously happy.
Y no es que simplemente te va a mostrar algo que está interno en ti, que va a ser una excusa, un hermano, alguna cosa que pasa para ver que eres supremamente feliz, o sea, para negar que eres supremamente feliz. Excusas.
So here's a little bonus package.
Y aquí tenemos unos bonos extras, un
Like
paquete de bonos.
he told me, you're too tolerant. And he's right. Don't tolerate this stuff.
Y como él me dijo a mí, tú eres muy tolerante, entonces dice, no seas tolerante, no seas indulgente.
I could see when I was first mind training, I get really mad at someone,
Y
right?
yo me acuerdo del entrenamiento mental que estaba teniendo, y yo me acuerdo que me molesté mucho con alguien.
Now I can see it now because Jesus, he sets me straight.
Y puedo escuchar a Jesús que me dice
But
directamente.
what happened, the way it worked is I had actually a mystical vision.
Lo que pasó es que yo tuve una visión mística.
But this how ego works. So,
Así es como funciona.
I saw Jesus and he said, look, you can either have everything or you can have this little bundle of words with, limitations. So you had a little graphic kind of thing.
Y bueno, Jesús le mostró un gráfico donde decía, puedes ver estar en estas limitaciones o puedes.
So I said that to someone, and it was guidance, I hear, for me to say that or mention, yeah, Jesus showed me this and this, okay?
Y entonces yo le envié a esto a alguien y le dije, mira, Jesús me mostró esto y esto.
And then what did they say? What was the reflection I gave myself? He did not.
Y la reflexión que yo tuve de eso fue, no, él no hizo eso.
So I went ballistic for about 3 days.
Y yo estuve molesta como por 3 días.
It's just how consciousness plays. You have these beautiful insights. You'll see, have all these awakening experiences, and the next minute you just want to just kill the nearest thing that walks by. That's how it works.
Y así es como funcionan estas experiencias. Entonces tienes esta experiencia maravillosa y luego estás molesto y quieres matar a lo que pase por tu lado.
See, but as your mind becomes more trained to go to the light, you tolerate that stuff less.
Pero cuando tu mente está entrenada, comienzas a ir a la luz y no admites, no toleras esto.
Okay, so here it is, and isn't that interesting, that language? Refuse to indulge in delusion. Refuse.
Entonces, mira el lenguaje. Rehúsate a caer en el engaño.
Let's ask him, Jesus, am I powerful enough to refuse these delusionary experiences? Yes or no?
Jesús, ¿soy suficientemente poderoso para rehusarme a caer en el engaño?
Yes,
¿Sí
you're
o no?
infinite.
Sí,
Okay.
tú eres infinito.
So stories are death.
Las historias son la muerte.
And I can see it. I went off on a story. Well, that, the hell does she, that story of what does she think she is? And she's wrong. And I saw the light, come on, or whatever.
Y entonces vemos esas historias como,
Okay.
yo decía, sí, yo sí tuve esas experiencias y quién es ella para decirme que no.
It loves stories, thought sword fights, projections on your brother.
Le encantan las historias, las proyecciones sobre tu hermano.
Oh, daydreaming. Oh my gosh, I spent so much time daydreaming.
Y también en ensoñaciones durante el día.
And mind wandering off into the ether space.
Estoy divagando mentalmente acerca del...
Thought sword fights were one of my favorite pastimes, Michael. Thank you very much.
¿What?
Thought sword fights, fighting one set of thoughts with another
Sí.
set of
Sí,
thoughts.
entonces que la pelea de espadas, llaman aquí pelea de espadas entre
Okay.
pensamientos, de tener pensamientos de pelea.
But the real shift came when you start seeing all that stuff and your mind just goes, I have one thing. I'm going to release every twitch to a miracle.
Pero cuando te das cuenta de todo esto, dices, voy a liberar cada molestia de mi mente a un milagro.
Mind goes into miracle mindedness. It's like, okay, a twitch miracle, twitch miracle, twitch miracle. It takes a lot.
Entonces
For
entramos
me,
a la mentalidad milagrosa y como tenemos un twitch y tenemos un milagro, un twitch y un milagro.
but then instead of mind wandering or getting upset, or because the dog has to go out 4 times in the middle of the night, I just go right to Jesus and I go, what can I see? And I just start going for miracles every time my eyes cracked open.
Y entonces, como en mi caso, que tengo que ir 4 veces a llevar el perro en la noche, entonces es Jesús, ¿qué tengo que ver aquí? ¿Qué tengo que ver aquí?
See, like when he said to me, when miracles become more valuable to sleep, oh my God, everybody freezes. But
Porque cuando dice que cuando los milagros se vuelven más importantes que el dormir, estamos
But
llegando a un buen punto.
you'll see it. My eyes would crack open and I just start, because your mind starts spinning. How many of us spend time spinning and complaining for years about I can't sleep at night and all that? No, I just turned that around. I just started going, nope, I'm going for a miracle. I'm going to see what's true. Show me.
Porque la mente quizá han pasado años divagando en esto y es como parar y decir, muéstrame Jesús.
See, you become miraculously consistent.
Te vuelves milagrosamente consistente.
It's a complete transformation from miracle constipation.
Es una transformación del estreñimiento de milagros
To complete miracle consistency. I'm going to get a miracle in everything.
a la consistencia de los milagros y voy a obtener un milagro en todo.
It's like, I refuse to be a twitch machine in every sound, because I saw myself, just after a while when you start looking, it was like I saw I was twitching at everything. It'd be a sound or a dog barking or someone walking into the kitchen. It was just a constant barrage.
Porque hay que rehusarnos a hacer esta máquina de twitches, porque yo me twitchaba con cada persona que pasaba al lado en la cocina o cuando el perro ladraba, cualquier cosa, era una máquina de twitches.
But consistency is pointing to consistency for God in his kingdom. You see the vigil for God in his kingdom.
Porque la consistencia apunta a ser consistente con Dios y su reino, ser vigilantes por Dios y su reino.
So no stories.
Así que no historias.
That's why we don't have stories telling in, because it's all a story. No, he knows what the miracle is. So you go right to Jesus.
Y por eso es que no dejamos que se hablen de las historias, porque vamos directamente a Jesús.
Okay. Bonus 2. Tony Robbins has this thing called go until.
Y esta es una expresión, el bonus 2, esta es una expresión que dice Tony Robbins, que es
Okay.
go until, ve hasta.
I don't know. Go until. What's that in Spanish?
Ve hasta, sí, ve hasta que seas consistentemente, supremamente feliz.
In other words, go until you're done.
Es ve hasta que lo logres, hasta que lo hagas.
It's power, you just, it taught me a lot about determination and being tenacious. I learned tenacity, you go until, you don't settle.
Esto nos habla de ser tenaces, de ir a ser obstinadamente tenaces.
Instead of being tenacious about trying to get things of the world, you're tenacious about seeing the truth of who you are.
En lugar de ser obstinadamente tenaz para conseguir cosas del mundo, ser obstinadamente para encontrar lo que tú eres.
and not being satisfied until you're happy all the time. Just joy.
Y a no estar satisfechos hasta que no seas completamente, supremamente feliz.
Because I learned that, you'd start getting these things of happiness coming, and you just feel this joy.
Porque comienzas a sentir ese gozo que viene.
But what I learned from that, you'd be joyful, and then it felt like, you were an escapee, wanting to kill something.
What is that, escaping?
Well, it went from, all this joy that all of a sudden you're really mad.
Entonces como que pasas de esto en gozo a luego estar muy molesto.
So I learned to just, even though I was really happy and joyful, to go to Jesus. Okay, what else can you show me? So I'm always focused on him. And so until it's really, everything's washed out, all the hell's washed out.
Y es simplemente dirigirnos a Jesús hasta que todo el infierno sea limpiado.
Because you'll go and you'll be happy, your mind starts purifying, you're really happy. And you just have to stay on it till it's consistent, till you're a fountain of happiness.
Y es seguir hasta que encuentres la fuente de la felicidad.
And then you're just sitting there, like I joke with Mary, because at first when he was having me do all these financial things, I just as soon want to pound my head on pavement.
Sí, porque yo hablo con Mary y yo me acuerdo cuando él me ponía a hacer todas estas cosas financieras que no me gustaban.
But I trusted him, I said, Jesus, is this still my assignment? And he'd say, yes.
Y yo confío en él y le digo,
Sí.
Jesús, ¿aún esto es mi asignación? Y él me dice que sí.
But I have to transcend. You have to transcend the idea that what you do is happiness. Now, whatever you're doing, you're a fountain of happiness. It doesn't change.
Y no importa lo que estés haciendo, tú eres una fuente de felicidad, nada cambia.
So this is a course in the power that you have.
Este es un curso de encontrar el poder que tú tienes.
As given by God.
Dado por el Padre. Por Dios.
To see that everything in a course is true.
De ver que cada cosa en el curso es verdad.
To see the nature of reality, of happiness, just happiness. I don't know what else to call it. It's just happiness.
De ver la naturaleza de la felicidad. No sé cómo más llamarla.
So everybody's invited. Let's all be in this happiness party together. That's what we're here for.
Todos estamos invitados a esta fiesta de la felicidad. Okay. Para eso estamos aquí.
Share. Thank you, Jesus.
Así que gracias, Jesús.
Look how comfortable he looks.
Mira cómo está de confortable Jesús aquí.
Hold on just 1 minute.
Cómodo.
I think we have a little dog that needs to go out. So Mary's gonna be, you want to go outside? Okay, there you go.
Parece que van a tener que sacar el perrito.
You're on mute, Kay.
Changing the view.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Mary just took the dog out. That's all we were talking about.
Aquí estamos hablando.
And then we have no lights on. It's pitch dark here. Okay, so do we have any questions? There got to be questions out there about that we can all enjoy about going to God.
Bueno, ¿hay alguna pregunta? Bien.
Or about the check? Well, it's kind of like a checklist. What did Jesus say when you asked him some of those things?
Bueno, ¿cómo les fue con las preguntas que le hicieron a Jesús acerca de esta lista?
Oh, Greg, bring it on. I love it. Hi, beloved.
Hi,
Let me
beloved.
try to pin us. Let me see if I can get us pinned here. Pin. Oh, I don't know. Well, okay, wait. I know when I cancel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spotlight us. Okay. Add spotlight. There we are, Greg.
Estaba seleccionando a Greg.
Hey, everybody. Hi, everyone.
Hola a todos.
What came up for me
Okay.
Lo que surgió para mí
was my alibis.
was my what?
Alibi.
What is that?
Alibi. Alibi. Coartada.
Lo que surgió para mí fue mi coartada.
Okay.
My self-righteous indignation.
Mi autoindignación.
Thinking that would save me,
Pensando que lo que me iba a salvar,
but only put me in more hell.
pero lo único que pasó es que me puso en más infierno.
That I heard
Lo que escuché,
that I didn't really want Jesus's voice,
que en verdad no quiero la voz de Jesús,
but instead wanted
pero en lugar de eso, quiero
the hate,
el odio,
self-loathing,
el auto, no sé qué.
and it just opened up where I saw
Y surgió
how I would do anything but to hear his voice.
de cómo yo haría cualquier cosa para no escuchar su voz.
So it makes me feel so close to him now.
Aw.
Y esto me hace sentir muy cercano a él ahora.
That I'm finally getting it somewhat more.
Que de alguna manera lo he logrado.
That my old religion falls away.
Que todos mis temas religiosos se quedaron atrás.
And the need to condemn
Y no necesito condenarlos.
the insane belief
La creencia loca
that I'm not good enough for him.
de que no soy suficientemente bueno para él, suficientemente bueno para él.
I just, when I see you, I go, wow,
Y cuando te veo digo, wow,
you're really doing it. Here's someone that's really shown up.
y en verdad tú lo estás haciendo y pues veo que alguien lo está mostrando
A way shower
como una forma de ver
to keep asking him.
de que podemos mantenernos preguntándole a él.
This is my only goal.
Y este es mi único propósito.
I will not settle for anything less.
Y no voy a permitir nada más, menos que eso.
The light has come.
Porque la luz ha llegado.
Yes.
This is home.
Yes.
Este es el hogar.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for my life.
Gracias Dios por mi vida.
The next entity,
La siguiente identidad
human being,
de ser humano,
I will say, I love you.
yo diría, la amo.
If he shows me any
Si él me
darkness,
muestra alguna oscuridad,
I love you, no
te
matter
amo,
what.
no importa qué.
What would Jesus do?
¿Qué haría Jesús?
Okay, that's enough for me.
Creo que eso es suficientemente por mí.
Well, it's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Eso es muy hermoso. Gracias por compartirlo.
And just ask him, Jesus, did I derive pleasure? Did I think it was heaven not to speak to you?
Jesús, creo que era el cielo no hablar contigo.
Did I desire? Say again, please.
Jesus, did I think there was some kind of heaven in not talking to you? Was I confused?
Estaba confundido que creer que había cierto cielo de no hablar contigo, Jesús.
Yes, I had it twisted,
Sí, lo tenía invertido.
and I feared God, old religion fearing God.
Y sí, tenía miedo de Dios. Toda la religión es miedo a Dios.
So this is a twist too. So Greg, ask him, Jesus, did I get a lot of pleasure out of fearing God?
Y bueno, eso es otro para preguntarle dónde está invertido. ¿Tenía miedo de Dios?
Did I get a lot of pleasure out of hearing God?
Que si obtenía placer de tener miedo de Dios.
Not until recently.
No hasta últimamente.
Is there a little golem down there just going like this about being afraid of God?
¿Hay algún
Yes.
Gollum ahí sobándose las manos de tener miedo a Dios?
Just like throwing shoes and dirty socks and food in the garbage sack on me.
No, wait.
Era como lanzar zapatos sucios, medias sucias sobre mí.
And
Little
yeah,
golem.
screaming at me.
El pequeño Gollum, dice que.
A little golem down there.
El pequeño Gollum ahí abajo.
Was he screaming down there saying, I love it? On the top, he's screaming, I don't want to be afraid of God. On the bottom, he's going, I love this.
Entonces vemos como en la parte superior decimos, no tengo miedo a Dios. Y en la parte inferior, amo tener miedo a Dios.
What do you hear, Greg?
¿Qué escuchas, Greg?
You know, I'm feeling so
Estoy
much
sintiendo
joy.
mucho gozo.
If Kay can do it, I can do it.
Si Kay lo puede hacer, yo lo puedo hacer.
Really?
If JC, HS, and GOD can, I'm all in.
Si no sé quién y quién no sé quién lo puedo hacer, yo también estoy adentro en eso.
I am the life, the way,
And the truth.
the life, the way, and the truth. I want all of that.
Yes.
Yo quiero eso, yo soy la luz, la verdad y la vida, y yo quiero eso. Si Jesús lo logró, ¿por qué no? Es el Jesus Christ.
I know I will have some more moments,
Yo sé que voy a tener más momentos,
but I have a plan now
pero ahora tengo un plan
that nobody can take me away
que nadie me lo puede quitar.
from.
Ujú.
Whenever I get upset,
Cuando me moleste, me sienta molesto,
as you say,
como tú dices,
ask for the miracle, Jesus. Jesus, may I have a miracle?
pide un milagro y le pregunto, Jesús, ¿podría tener un milagro?
No matter what.
No importa qué.
That's the bottom line
Esa es la línea
in my life now.
Ahora en mi vida.
Why would I want anything else?
¿Por qué querría tener algo diferente de eso?
I will ask him for the courage,
Y voy a pedir el coraje,
the strength,
la fortaleza,
because I believe it's gonna come at me now.
porque ahora creo que van a venir a atraparme.
And my ego's gonna go, pour me another drink.
Y porque el ego va a venir por otro trago.
And it's your fault,
Iba a decir, es tu culpa,
but it's not true.
pero eso no es cierto.
You know, and there is some value, to saying when it seems like a big ego, you just say, well, I have a big Jesus.
Y es como un chiste cuando decimos que tengo un gran ego, pero tengo un Jesús más grande.
Not to get into sword fights or anything, but, to know he does walk, who's walking with us? Who do we
Y
think's helping us?
para no tener este juego de espadas, esta disputa de espadas, pero y recordar con quién andamos, quién va a nuestro lado.
And really, it's always a call to join.
Y en verdad siempre es un llamado a unirnos,
It's join to see what's true. Jump a join.
a unirnos a ver lo que es la verdad, lanzarnos a una unión.
They're translators, so you can join with someone who speaks Spanish if he tells you to. It's really beautiful.
E incluso se pueden unir con personas que hablan en español. Es muy hermoso. Con los traductores. Usando los traductores de la maquinita.
That's what joining is for. I mean, Lisa Fairs was so good. She says, if I have one doubt thought in my mind, I join. It's the dissolution of the delusion.
Porque Luisa decía que cuando tenía una molestia se unía para deshacer la ilusión.
Delusion solution.
La solución a la ilusión.
I know the way home now.
Ahora sé el camino al hogar, a mi hogar.
And I'm not going to give it up ever.
Y no voy a renunciar a él nunca.
I don't know I know that it's going to, no, I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Ahora sé que estoy dispuesto a hacer todo lo que se requiera.
That's essential.
Eso es esencial.
You're on mute, Kay.
Sorry about that. Accidentally hit mute. So
Parece que accidentalmente
we back down. We let the ego have its way.
Porque nosotros dejamos que el ego lo haga a su manera.
The very thing that would lead to our to the just unrelenting joy we deny ourselves. What kind of deal is that?
¿Qué clase de negocio es ese de no? Can you say that again?
The very thing that would lead to this unrelenting joy we say no to Jesus about. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going there.
Lo único que nos evita de tener este gozo pleno es que le decimos, no, no voy a hacer esto, no voy a hacer lo otro.
The my way highway. I know better than he does.
Que mi vía es la vía más rápida, que yo sé cómo hacer las cosas.
And it's a deep look to see how much the ego just relishes playing the game of duking it out with Jesus.
Y ver cómo disfrutamos el juego de echar a Jesús.
You see, the ego goes, well, if I go there, I'm not going to be able to make my choice. I'm not going to be able to be the one who chooses.
Y como que el ego dice, no, yo quiero ser el que quiere elegir.
To choose what I get to do when I want to do it.
De elegir lo que yo quiero hacer cuando yo lo quiero hacer.
But the ego is a choice machine, which is choice is time and death. There's no choice. You're divine. But as long as we play in, we think we know what choices bring happiness, we're in death.
Porque cuando creemos que nosotros tenemos la elección, estamos en la muerte. Porque esa es la creencia de que hay una elección.
So the number of beings, and it's beautiful to say, okay, I'm going to go for it. But to lock down on it is what has to happen, and do not be dissuaded by the ego.
Y es una forma donde nos tenemos que bloquear completamente y no dejarnos persuadir por el ego.
And then really be devoted. Okay, I'm going to see what guidance it is. And your brothers, you need your brothers to help you on that clarity.
Y es como bloquearse, ver qué es la guía y mantenerte con tus compañeros.
The ego doesn't want to trust brothers, it wants to do it my way. I know, and I'm doing it my way. It just, it's death.
Porque el ego no quiere confiar en tus hermanos. Quiero hacerlo a mi manera y eso es la muerte.
Truly, when you're willing to do whatever it takes, no matter what it looks like, you're free. It's so free.
Cuando tú estés dispuesto a hacer lo que se requiera, eso es libertad.
Because then you can be uncoupled from belief that happiness comes from some kind of form.
Porque ahí viene el deshacer la creencia de que la felicidad viene de alguna forma.
The ego plays the game of I have my rights,
El ego juega al yo tengo mis derechos.
And Muji has this beautiful saying at Monte Sahaja.
Y Muji dice esto en el Monte Sahaja.
And you come to Monte Sahaja to just give up any idea that you have any rights and be willing to do whatever.
Es darte cuenta que no tienes ningún derecho y hacer lo que se requiera.
You leave your shoes at the door and you just walk in empty-handed.
Tú dejas los zapatos afuera y entras con las manos vacías.
So there is something about, if he saying yes to what he asks, it's so important with that willingness to come in, because until we say a full yes to what he's asking and willing to do whatever it takes, he can't lift you up in it. He can't show you everything in your mind that you need to see.
Desde hasta que no siga 100%, él no te va a poder mostrar lo que en tu mente tiene que ser mostrado.
So we're the ones that have to say yes and step forward,
Y nosotros somos los que tenemos que decir sí y mantenernos.
to take his hand,
De tomar su mano.
But if you're determined to see, then the way will be provided. Just keep taking the steps. Be determined, I'm going to take the steps necessary.
Y simplemente es mantenernos siguiendo los pasos, y porque todo va a ser proveído.
And then join with your brothers and ask to pray together to see what the next steps are.
y así unirte con tus hermanos y orar con ellos para ver cuál es el siguiente paso.
It, the mind has to get to the point of just completely shutting off the idea of sacrifice, because the ego will constantly bring that up.
La mente tiene que llegar al punto donde está en el tema del sacrificio, porque el ego siempre va a salir con este tema.
You know, it's just going to come up with a barrage of reasons as soon as you're going to step into the state of grace by following a barrage of why you can't do it, why you're going to die if you do it.
Porque él va, cuando entras a la gracia del seguir, él va a salir con la lista de por qué no puedes hacerlo.
That's probably, yeah, I'm asking Jesus, the most important part of the light training is being able to really start saying no to, trust your brothers and saying no to that.
Le estoy preguntando si esto es parte esencial donde le digamos no, no y confiamos en nuestros hermanos.
Yes, you can do it. Because you're everything Jesus says you are.
Sí, tú lo puedes hacer porque todo lo que Jesús dice, tú lo eres.
But as he promised, you will have powerful, mighty companions that will walk with you if you let them.
Él cumple su promesa de que tendrás poderosos compañeros que caminarán contigo si tú así lo permites.
He knows exactly which one you need to get you through it. You know, it's just that we tend to eject them. The play is to eject the mighty companions that will help you.
Porque él sabe por lo que tienes que pasar, pero tú que vas a querer rechazar a estos compañeros.
It's just a symbol of their place in our mind. We don't want to look at the rage and projections and, you know.
Porque es el símbolo de donde no queremos mirar en nuestra mente, donde rechazamos.
You know, Muji kept saying it was helpful to have someone say, you're more powerful than anything the ego throws out. But we're the ones who's generating it.
Jesús, Muji dice que nosotros somos más poderosos para ver esto porque realmente nosotros lo estamos generando.
You know, we can say, I refuse to torture myself like this anymore. You know, that's a good thing to say.
Es como decir, me rehúso a torturarme más con esto y eso es una buena cosa que decir.
Yeah, it's pretty wild to see the biggest, it's just always an objection to seeing that we're holy. It's pretty funny.
Es muy particular ver que nos negamos a creer que somos
You know, the ego comes up with reasons. See, it's gonna, I can't do it because this, and I got this, and I got this, and it happened because of that, and you know, it's
Yeah.
fighting against the very happiness. That's all it is. We're all only ever fighting against happiness, which you can't
porque
really fight
el ego es eso, peleando siempre en contra de la felicidad.
So thank you, Greg. Is there anything else you wanted to ask? Or you?
Oh,
Gracias, Greg. ¿Hay algo más que quieres preguntar?
I Jesus,
Jesús.
Jesus, if you will tell me what to do,
Si tú me dirías, si tú me dices qué hacer,
only that I will to do.
solo eso voy a hacer.
I just know I can do it.
Yes, you can.
Yo sé que lo puedo hacer.
I will believe.
Yeah.
No sé si la puedo hacer, pero Kate le dice sí, lo puedes hacer. Y dice que sí, quizás sí.
Jesus, am I being foolhardy by thinking
Jesús ha estado pensando
that this joy I have
que este gozo que estoy teniendo,
will not last?
que no va a perdurar.
Well, it might be a better question to ask him, Jesus,
Quizá haya una mejor pregunta que hacer.
am I getting a true taste of what's natural to me? Yes or no?
Jesús, estoy teniendo una prueba de lo que es natural para mí.
Yes.
Jesus,
Sí.
is it possible that this could be a 24/7 kind of deal?
Y que Jesús puedo tener este contrato 7 por 24.
Yes.
Will you help me release from my mind any desire for it not to be a 24/7 deal?
Jesús, me ayudarías a liberar de mi mente los deseos de no tener este contrato 7 por 24.
I don't know if I understand it, but I think is no. This, no matter
No,
what, I'll
no
be
sé si entendí.
Jesus, will you help me release any desire not to be happy like this 24/7?
Jesús, me ayudarías a liberar los deseos de no estar 7 por 24 feliz así como lo estoy ahora.
Yes.
Sí.
The only thing you're committing to is happiness 24/7.
La única cosa que tienes que estar comprometido es con la felicidad 7 por 24.
Because in the past, we're committed to not being happy 24.
Porque en el pasado estábamos comprometidos a no estar felices 7 por 24.
I can do this.
Yo puedo hacer esto.
I want this.
Yo quiero esto.
No matter what it takes, no how long it takes.
No me importa cuánto requiera, cuánto tiempo requiera esto.
Why would I want anything else
¿Por
when
qué
it's
querría
freely
otra
given?
cuando esto es gratis tenerlo?
Freely receive it.
Es libre, es gratis recibirlo.
There is no other way home.
No hay otra manera de volver a casa.
Thank you, Greg.
Gracias, Greg.
Thank you, everyone.
Gracias
Love
a
you.
todos.
Beautiful.
Te amamos, hermoso.
I love
I
you
love-
guys.
Love you too.
Los amo todos, chicos.
We're grateful for it. We all need to make a commitment like that.
Estamos agradecidos porque todos tenemos que hacer este compromiso como ese.
Anyone else have a question?
¿Alguien más tiene alguna pregunta?
Or an observation from when they talked to Jesus earlier?
¿O alguna observación de lo que hayan hablado con Jesús?
I have something.
Okay.
Yo tengo algo.
Just that I can bask in the now, like you were saying now.
Yo quiero preguntar acerca de la hora, porque dijiste tú ahora.
That when I just say no, fully no right now,
Cuando yo digo completamente no ahora mismo,
to anything that's not perfect love,
a cualquier cosa que no sea perfecto amor,
just to accept the perfect love that my brother is,
solo aceptando el perfecto amor que mi hermano es,
that everyone is bringing that,
que todos traen,
and really just to say no to any value in sacrifice,
y de decirle no al valor del sacrificio
like to keep looking at that
y de mantenerme mirando eso
until he says that, that the healing is complete there.
que hasta el momento que él diga que la sanación ha ocurrido.
So I just am grateful for the opportunity
Así que solamente estoy agradecida por la oportunidad
to consistently join
de consistentemente unirme.
and this opportunity just to say no to the no to God.
Y esta oportunidad de decirle no a Dios.
It does take everything.
Porque eso requiere todo.
Can you turn
But
on your
but
video,
oh.
Renee, so I can spotlight you?
oh,
¿Puedes
Well,
prender tu video?
I might have to turn the light on here. Let's see.
Creo que tengo que prender la luz aquí.
Uh-oh. Doggy, it's okay. It's me.
Okay, that's all right. I just
It's
thought, I could try and spotlight you, but you
Yeah,
may
you
be
could.
just about complete.
There we go. You can say hi. Yeah, I love you all.
Los amo a todos.
Thank
We're
you
grateful for you too,
yeah.
Renee. You've definitely followed the spirit. It's very beautiful.
Nosotros también estamos agradecidos por ti, René, porque tú sigues al Espíritu.
Yeah, it's getting more profound, more deep.
Simplemente todo esto está siendo más profundo, más profundo.
And then just seeing that it's here, that the love is here. It's here.
Es ver que el amor está aquí.
Yeah, thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you, Renee. That's beautiful.
Gracias, René, eso es hermoso.
Anyone else want to share or ask a question before we close up for tonight?
¿Alguien quiere compartir algo más?
Well, we love you all. We're very grateful that all of you, it takes a commitment just to come here, and spend your evening. So thank you. We love you.
Gracias a todos porque se requiere compromiso para venir incluso a esto. Los amamos.
Good evening, everyone.
Buenas
Mojo
noches.
more to all of you. Oh, let's see. I think
Yeah.
unmute everyone if you want to say good night. Oh, that mutes everyone. Ask unmute all. No.
There we go. It gave
Well,
me an
whoever wants to
unmute.
unmute, you'll have to unmute because that button's not working.
Tienen que ustedes dar
No.
el...
If you want to say good night to your mighty,
Si alguien quiere decir buenas noches,
that button's not.
porque el botón no está funcionando.
Hi, everyone. Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Thank you for your commitment to God.
Gracias por su compromiso con Dios.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you for the rest. The rest and
Thank
the
you,
light.
Kay.
Go for God. Go for God.
Thank you, Kay. Thank you, everyone.
Love you.
Love you.
Creo que los que hemos estado